measures we took first stabilized and now are heading in the right direction. Of course, I say this because we do not now know, and we are praying that the second wave of COVID does not really make us take those measures which affect this, right trend, the country which is heading in the right direction. That CPEC is not exclusive to just China. CPEC is, first of all, it started with connectivity. It was a transport, a road network which connected various areas in Pakistan. Secondly, it was about power generation. We were short of power, so we needed power generation, to fuel the growing population and the growth rate. So now the second phase of CPEC is more than connectivity. It is special economic zones which we are opening up, and with special incentives there. It is about agriculture, where we really need help from China because their productivity in agriculture is much higher than in Pakistan. And it's about also these technology institutes which we want help from China because of digitalization of Pakistan, improving our e-commerce. So we need skilled labor for that. So that's also part of CPEC. But mainly it is about connectivity. It connects Pakistan to China, which is one of the biggest markets. It is also, you talked about the railway. First time in Pakistan's history, we are modernizing our railway. And it will completely revolutionize railway travel in Pakistan, which is called the ML1. And it connects Karachi right up to Peshawar. And the next phase, we want to connect it right through Afghanistan to Uzbekistan. So it will connect us to China. And also, we hope that there will be an east-west. Unfortunately, with India right now, we have a problem. And we hope that this will change with a new government, which is a moderate government. We have where we can resume normal relationship with India. But with Iran, if sanctions are lifted there, we then have a north to south, east to west connectivity, and Pakistan's special strategic location connects it to the biggest biggest markets, as well as the energy corridor. So we are really very well placed, and CPEC is a great opportunity to now move forward from here. And as I said, it's not exclusive to China. Anyone can become part of the CPEC. The key for us right now is Afghanistan. It's after a long time that there is a prospect of peace. For some reason, there were attempts for a military solution, and here's someone who kept saying that there was never going to be a military solution. Finally, the peace talks started, and Pakistan played a huge part in getting the Americans and the Taliban to sit on a table. And then it played another very difficult to get an intra-Afghan dialogue going. Now, unfortunately, the level of violence is growing in Afghanistan, and this is of concern to us because we believe that peace in Afghanistan has huge dividends, first of all to the people of Afghanistan, but then to people of Pakistan. It connects us right up to Central Asia, and as you quite rightly said, Central Asia has this huge untapped potential, which will be of great benefit to us and to Central Asia if they can connect right down. They're landlocked, and they can, through Gwadar, they can be connected to the world. So the great hope here is that these talks succeed and there is peace in Afghanistan. And apart from anything else, the tribal belt of Pakistan, the strip of land adjoining Pakistan and Afghanistan, they were devastated by the war on terror. And the best way to rehabilitate and to give employment to the people there is if there is peace in Afghanistan, and the adjoining areas will benefit the most from trading and connectivity. If someone asked me what was President Trump's greatest achievement, for me it is this resumption of the Afghan peace process. I feel that it was a great achievement of his because he literally forced this peace process to take place. And, the fact that after so many years, there's a dialogue going on, no matter how difficult, and it was always going to be difficult. The longer the conflict, the harder it is to bridge that divide which that conflict creates. So I feel that President Trump did a great job here. And I'm convinced that President-elect Biden is not going to reverse this, because there is no other solution. I mean, there is only one way forward. You can't have a conflict going on for 19 years and no result and expect that you keep doing the same thing over and over again and you expect a result in the next 19 years. So therefore, I think everyone will be trying to push this peace process. Let me just say one thing, that, we see our government as a facilitator, to facilitate the private sector. We believe that, the government's job is not to actually come into business, except in certain crucial areas. But in this field, we really believe that it's the private sector that needs to be encouraged and facilitated. So the answer is yes, this is the future, public-private partnership. And the sectors you mentioned are extremely important: agriculture, governance system, because the efficiency in governance system comes with e-governance. And we have actually set ourselves deadline when we want all our government departments to be on e-government rather than the old paper pushing. Pakistan's retail sale is almost around 125 to 130 billion dollars. It's a huge market, 220 million people, young population. More than me telling you, I would like you to tell Dr. Hafiz, what are the sort of things you want us to do? How do we encourage people like you? Because, and you mentioned groceries, this is something which really we have been working on in the past 4 or 5 months because of our food inflation. And we want somehow to encourage wholesale, or where the retail can get directly stuff from the farmers, so that we can, the consumers can get low-price groceries. And this has been a discussion going on within our government. But we would love you to give your point of view. And Dr. Hafiz, since he heads the committee which looks at food inflation on a weekly basis, he knows all about the efforts we are trying to make to somehow bring down the cost of vegetables and groceries. So we would really love you to give your input in this. We want 3 things. Number one, we want the actual farmers to get paid more, because at the moment they do not get paid much. The middleman gets most of the money. So the one who works hard, number one, we want him to get paid more. And secondly, we want the consumers to get a lower price. And thirdly, we would want our products to be graded. Problem is, this is, Pakistan has some of the best fruits and vegetables in the world. Problem is, because we don't grade them, we cannot market them, we can't export them as well. So, you have that expertise, so we would love to have that knowledge from you. And this government would really encourage any automobile investors in this country and especially who can export from Pakistan. So who can, manufacture the automobiles here and then export. And we have given a series of incentives for them. And in fact, there has been a growth, post-COVID, there has been a growth in the sales of motor cars in Pakistan. And secondly, we have also just come up with an electric vehicle policy. So that also we are encouraging right now, bearing in mind this government is very conscious of the environment and the global warming and climate change. We have taken various steps. And one of them is that we are now encouraging electric vehicles to be made in Pakistan. What 28 paces in the ease of doing business we've improved in 1 year. I can just say one thing, that in Pakistan, in 60s, we were a model for the developing world. Pakistan was industrializing quicker than any other country in Asia. and Pakistan was was given example of success. Unfortunately, 70s we went the other way. We became more a socialist country, and so profit making almost became a crime at one point, which is sadly what happened in those days of where there were two camps, capitalism and communism. So we went that way in 70s, and that choked our industrial development. This is the first government in Pakistan since 60s which has made it a point that we want to make profit making easy for people. So we want to do everything to make it easy for investors to make profit in Pakistan. And so as a result, we are trying to remove all the impediments that were in the way of profit making. So that means dealing with regulations, with red tape, all the problems we were stuck with. And so we are moving in that direction, and it is reflected now, and especially in our construction sector, because that's one sector where 30 industries are attached to it. So once that gets going, the other 30 industries all start moving up. And that is where it has taken us almost a year to remove all the impediments that were in the way of the construction sector. And that's what we are trying to do in the small and medium industry. And Dr. Hafiz will tell you in the capital markets all the reforms that they're trying to make. So this Pakistan, the current Pakistan of the 220s, is all about creating wealth by industrializing, by making it easy for industrialists, and then using that wealth to lift up people out of poverty. And it's actually a model which China followed. Our biggest problem right now in Pakistan has been very expensive energy. We unfortunately, the sort of power generation contracts we signed in the past, the cost of that generation is unfortunately so high that we are almost 25% more expensive, producing more expensive energy in Pakistan compared to our competitors like Bangladesh and India. And I mean 25% more expensive energy to industry. And therefore, it has actually impeded our industrialization, which means wealth creation, and which means our inability to sort of raise people out of poverty or even to pay our debts. So therefore, our biggest challenge has been now to provide affordable energy to our industry.
जनाब वज़ीर-ए-आज़म इमरान खान का आलमी इक़्तिसादी फ़ोरम के तहत पाकिस्तान स्ट्रेटेजी डायलॉग से खिताब आपने मुलाहिज़ा किया। उनका कहना है कि पाकिस्तान दुनिया के मुकाबले में स्मार्ट लॉकडाउन हमने लगाया पाकिस्तान में, और लॉकडाउन के साथ साथ मज़दूर तबके के मफादात का ख्याल भी रखा।
प्रिजर्व करने की कोशिश की जाती है। मैं आपको आर्ट के अंदर, पेंटिंग्स के अंदर ये